From Bed-Stuy to Brownsville, we back in them streets. Brooklyn, USA, asking New Yorkers what they know about cannabis jobs, hiring equity, and giving people real second chances. I'm Jamil Myrie, and this is What You Heard. Let's go.
Jobs. I don't think I've ever heard those two words put together like that. So that's a great way to start my brain. I personally know a person in Long Island who has a farm.
Okay.
So that comes to mind. Yeah. But that's a recent thing. If you had to ask me this maybe 3 months ago, I'd have probably been like, the bodega be selling. You work at the bodega, you might have a little song.
Right.
But yeah, I see a lot of dispensaries pop up.
Right.
You know, so that's really all I would think is like, you work at a dispensary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all that really comes to mind.
Right. It's an industry that's getting ready to cross $2 billion this year at the end of the year.
Are we talking like nationally or locally? Like
Just New York.
Just New York?
Yes. Big industry.
I wasn't ready for
that.
Okay.
2 B's.
That makes sense.
Right?
New York. Yeah.
And they're so, it's big.
I like
It's
that.
big,
You're
right?
right, brother.
You know what I'm saying? So
We talking about fairness?
we're talking about fairness, equity.
We don't live in the country of fairness and equity, though. So I do know that. So I don't really expect fairness per se.
Okay.
I'm a Libra. I look for fairness. You know what I mean? I love my art. I'm a mathematician.
Yeah.
So I think that things should be balanced. But I know we're in a system that is built on making sure it's not balanced.
Okay.
So I don't expect it. For me, that's a uphill battle with all the weights on to try to get those types of outcomes in the system.
Got you.
For me, if you want to get on an even footing, you can't join somebody else's thing and be like, hey, let me get on the same footing as you while we compete. They're not going to set you up to compete with them. That's just how I see that. So I completely understand that there's a block to other people getting in the game. That's how they always play the game. So I'm not surprised by that. So even when you ask me that question, like, what do you know about the job, cannabis jobs? And I'm like, there's that intelligent part of me that's like, oh, I'm embarrassed. I don't know nothing about cannabis jobs. I can't say nothing intelligent about that.
Right.
And then that instantly lets me know, like, oh, damn, why don't I? You know what I mean? Because that information is not being dispensed.
Right.
I've never seen a flyer for that.
You could. Would you work in the cannabis industry?
Definitely, yes,
Yeah?
I would. Yes, I would.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I believe in the benefits.
Have you heard anything in terms of like education, cannabis job fairs, or anything like that in the community?
Honestly, I haven't. No, I have not. I would, I haven't. I would probably attend if I knew more about it, but I haven't heard of it, to be honest. Yes, I think that with the legalization of cannabis, that the Black family structure can improve because. And this is based on research that my daughter did for college. She was looking into how so many families were separated because their fathers were taken away and incarcerated for the simple sale of a minimal amount of cannabis.
Right.
And so this, the legalization is going to improve that structure by keeping the fathers at home and also giving them opportunities.
Right. Exactly. The
To have an
opportunities.
entrepreneurship
Right.
store products and business.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest with you. I'm not sure if opportunities come to mind. Because when let me rewind a little bit. John Boehner, the Speaker of the House, speaking on behalf of the legalization of cannabis, it was a double-edged sword for me. I'm like, okay, so the other side has gotten their claws into it. And at this point, I think after that, what happens is, and this is just my opinion, I think it becomes, how should I say, fizzled out or sifted. So whatever scrums that remain at the bottom now, the disenfranchised is going to get. It's almost like prohibition in a way. When we go back and read about it, how absurd that law was. And in some cases, what we see now in terms of the cannabis industry. Now, I'm not a cannabis user.
Okay.
I also believe that there is medicinal purposes to it.
Absolutely.
However, and I hope this doesn't do any harm to your
Not at all.
documentary.
Not at all.
I think when you begin to put fire, you change the chemical composition of something.
Absolutely. The
So,
decarboxylation.
there we go. So now, if you're doing it in the form of teas and all of that other stuff, yes.
tenders working in stores with recommending different strains for different things, because what people don't understand is that cannabis is medicine. So each strain does something different.
Right.
So when you have someone who's a bud tender who is knowledgeable on the properties and the side effects that each strain gives you, it works better that way. An easier path is not as easy as people make it seem. So when it comes with the social equity, like I said, I'm not too familiar when it comes to as an employee, but as an employer, as a business owner, it's very hard, especially if you are a C applicant, which is was for the social equity. There's a lot of hoops and red tape and things that you have to get through. Like when it comes to owning an actual dispensary, you can't be like, all right, let's say I wanted one across the street. You see how there's those businesses are shuttered. I can have that place. The city tells me where my business is going to be located at.
Cannabis jobs. So when you say cannabis jobs, my holistic mind, I like to think of people in the field tilling, growing, trimming, drying. But we live in a different kind of world, and people aren't cultivating plants in the way that they should. So when you think cannabis jobs, I'm thinking dispensaries, people selling. I'm thinking black market selling. I'm thinking people in lab coats wearing all white dealing with plants, which is inorganic. So that's what I think of when you ask me cannabis jobs. So it depends on if they were knowledgeable and they had the love and the passion for it. But incarceration, that's just a title, you know.
Yeah.
So
Right.
so for sure, if they're open and willing to give and they love what they do, why not?
Cannabis jobs,
Yeah.
like someone selling weed.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Like selling weed. Okay.
Okay,
So
that's
that's what comes to mind.
stores.
Stores. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Illegal
Okay.
stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hustlers.
Hustlers. All right.
Oh, for them who were incarcerated to have a job selling weed
Selling weed legally.
legally.
Yeah. And just an easier path than say you or me, who we weren't incarcerated.
Do they have an easier path to vote?
It's the same path, right?
Right.
Okay,
Right. So do they? They're selling in the community, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I think if they do that, it needs to come with a stipulation. Just like I feel like everyone should volunteer,
Okay.
right? So if you're going to sell in the community, how are you helping the community? Only taking. So what can you give to the commununity? So now, are you selling this to kids? Like,
No, absolutely not.
Right.
This is the legal side. Yeah.
Correct. So how do we monitor that though?
Okay. Shop. Would you hire someone who's formerly incarcerated?
I would have to have a long discussion about that,
Okay.
Because it's just like feeling out if they weren't incarcerated.
Sure.
You want to feel out their energy, and is it genuine? That subject is a little different for me because I'm not into weed. I've never smoked.
Right.
I know people who do.
Sure.
Yeah. But I think the reforming part is important.
Yeah.
So the conversation about the why.
Yes.
Is it just to make the money? Because we know that there's medicinal purposes for that as well. So are they going in with that mindset, or are they going in as hustlers?
Yeah. Streets is talking, and they're keeping it 1,000. What we heard today is that New Yorkers want cannabis jobs. They want their own cannabis businesses. They want to be a part of this industry, but they also want accountability. Behind all of that, though, there's a real stigma that's still amongst us, very present. But in all truth, opportunity changes everything. So how are cannabis businesses creating these opportunities? And what does equity-centered hiring look like from the inside? Well, let's talk cannabis with someone who's doing just that. Let's go.